Hello, my name is Jan Potzman, and I'm the Assistant Director at the CSUN Career Center. Welcome to Internship Week and the LA County Arts Internship Program presentation. We're going to start by launching a poll. So we want to know how much you know about the LA County Arts and Culture Internship Program. Okay, let's take a look at that, Martin. You can see.
Good, I'm in the right place, exactly where I need to be.
That's great. Okay, so I will introduce Martin. After graduating from the University of California, Santa Cruz, with a double major in history of art and visual culture, Martin moved back to his hometown of Los Angeles to serve students through education and career support programs in the nonprofit sector. From working in middle schools in East and South LA, Martin transitioned to supporting students impacted by the justice and foster care systems, providing career trainings, wraparound services, and eventually managing the Central Youth Source Center for the city of LA. In his current position at the LA County Department of Arts and Culture, Martin manages the LA County Arts Internship Program, the largest paid internship program of its kind in the country. He is passionate about student access to career and educational opportunities, and in his free times, loves walking his dog in various neighborhoods throughout the county. Welcome, Martin.
Thank you so much, Jan. Hello, CSUN family. Thank you so much for making the time to be here. I'm so grateful for this poll and to see that the vast majority of you may be hearing about our program for the first time. Like I said, that to me means I'm exactly where I need to be. And just want to take a second to thank Jan and the rest of the CSUN team for all of your hard work in putting together Internship Week and inviting us to be here. I'm born and raised in the Valley, grew up in the 818, just around the corner from CSUN and Silmar. So I have a lot of love for the Valley and for CSUN. So it's a pleasure to be in front of you all here today. So as Jan mentioned, we are here to discuss the LA County Arts Internship Program, now celebrating its 23rd year. My understanding is my presentation is coming just after our friends and colleagues at the Getty Foundation, who just presented on the Getty Merrill Multicultural Undergraduate Internship Program. So if any of you were in that presentation, some of this information and some of the structure might look familiar because our programs are actually sister programs. So we're coming at you with a lot of arts and culture opportunities during Internship Week today. And it's really an honor and a joy to administrate this program on behalf of the department. So I do have a little bit of a brief presentation that's mostly to help me keep myself on track. But just in the realm of a brief introduction, as I mentioned before, the program is celebrating its 23rd year this year. We started in the year 2000. As a sister program to the Getty's program. And basically the way that came about is the LA County Board of Supervisors in the year 2000 looked at the Getty internship program and said, hey, the Getty program is funding internships in museums and visual arts institutions. What about all of the other artistic disciplines? What about dance? What about music? What about performing arts, right? Social service, social justice nonprofits. What about those organizations? Shouldn't they be able to host interns? And thus our program was born. The pictures that you're seeing here on this slide are from pre-pandemic days, the before times, when we were actually able to gather all of the interns together for what we used to call Art Summit. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, that event is no longer in operation, but you can see, as Jan mentioned, this is a sizable program. We're going to be talking about 228 internships that are available starting this spring into the summer and fall. So really exciting opportunity for you all today. You'll see the mission statement here. I'm not going to read it, but one of the things that you're welcome to read it yourself if you'd like. But one of the things that I'd like to highlight is that for us, we keep a really expansive definition of what success looks like in this program. So what do I mean by that? The first is that for those of you that know you want to work in the arts, this is the program for you. It's a paid internship in the field of arts and culture in Los Angeles, right? We know that sometimes those opportunities feel few and far between, and that the arts can feel like a really tough field to break into. And so this program obviously can help folks who know that they want to work in the arts get their foot in the door. But we do not consider long-term employment in the arts as the only metric of success in this program. It's very possible that you will do this internship and say, you know what, I learned a lot, but I don't know that I necessarily want to build a career in the field of arts and culture. Or maybe you're participating in the program and you have no desire to work in the field of arts and culture for the long term anyway. That's okay too. Our hope is that by participating in this program, in addition to making some money and getting valuable work experience, you're acquainting yourself with all of the arts and culture programming that is happening in LA County, because I'm here to tell you that it is a lot. So there's ways for you to be able to stick around as ticket buyers, as volunteers, maybe as board members for these organizations, right? So again, hopeful that maybe this can turn into long-term employment for you. But if that's not the case, we hope that you will be able to stay engaged in the field of arts and culture in general and learn a lot from your participation in this program. So let's hammer or dive a little bit deeper into what 2023, this actual upcoming cycle, is going to look like. As I mentioned before, we are talking about 228 internships available for this coming program cycle. It's a lot. For those 228 internships, we had 172 organizations apply for 303 positions. So what does that mean? That means we had more applications from organizations to host interns than we're actually able to fund. So when we whittled it down, we're left with 157 different organizations that will be hosting those 228 interns. And that is, of course, because some organizations are hosting 2 interns, some organizations are hosting 3 interns, which is the maximum. So this year, positions in marketing, arts education, and production are the highest number of internships available in the pool. This is something that we've actually been seeing for the past couple years, that marketing tends to be an area where a lot of our organizations need support. So those are positions that are helping with social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of the kinds of things that these organizations really need in order to promote their programs, to sell tickets, so on and so forth. Marketing positions most of the time are working in the realm of social media and assisting with those organizations getting the word out about their programs. Arts education positions are actually positions where working directly with students, potentially in like after school programs or weekend programs. So basically these organizations are putting on arts programs specifically for youth that are able, to interact with these arts programs either during the school day or after the school day. Also have a lot of internships in that category. And the final biggest category this year is production. So these are internships that are really focused with the actual production of artistic content. So maybe you're assisting as a stage manager for a theater play. Maybe you're working music and sound equipment for a theater or for a concert, right? So production positions are focused, exclusively on the production of these artistic elements. Other types of positions you will see in the program include administration, audience services, civic engagement, development and fundraising, event planning, graphic design, and research and evaluation. One thing I want to make sure that I'm very clear about here, these are unfortunately not positions in artistic practice, meaning we do not have internships for dancing or singing or anything, potentially playing instruments. These are not internships that are rooted in artistic practice. These are administrative positions helping organizations create arts and culture programming in Los Angeles. However, a caveat, I will say that a lot of times our organizations, if they find out or hear, or if an intern shares with them that they play an instrument, or they are a dancer, or they're a filmmaker and they enjoy making movies in their own time, a lot of times our grantee organizations will do their best to utilize that talent, have you come in and be able to utilize those skills. But it is something that sometimes interns get a little confused about. These are arts administration positions, and we'll talk more about what that looks like in just a minute. So let's talk about eligibility. And this we talk about early on, because this is about the time where interns start saying, all right, Martine, this sounds great, but am I going to be able to get an internship? Am I going to be able to actually do this? Am I actually going to be able to get hired? And so my hope is that by the time we discuss this slide, you'll feel confident that the answer to all of those questions is yes. So first and foremost, interns must be currently enrolled undergraduates at either a 4-year or community college. Congratulations, you have all checked the first box off your list by being enrolled at CSUN, okay? So this program is specifically focused on undergraduate students who are looking to get their foot in the door in arts and culture, okay? So undergraduate enrolled at CSUN, first box checked. If you are a senior, so if you will be graduating this coming spring, as long as you graduate between May and December of this year of 2023, you are still eligible. So I will say, for you graduating seniors that are looking for your next step, you all have a tendency to be highly sought after by our grantee organizations, because a lot of the time they're looking for interns that can work. There are positions that are working 40 hours a week or 30 hours a week. And so obviously, if you've already graduated from CSUN at this point and are going to be, going into a summer and fall where you're not going to be taking any classes, there may be some great opportunities for you to look at full-time positions. But again, if you are graduating not until 2024 or 2025, as long as you're enrolled in at least one class at the time that you're applying for these internships, you will be considered eligible. We also require that students either reside in or attend school in LA County. Because CSUN is within LA County, we are covered there. And you must possess right to work documents. So I want to be really clear, just because we know that sometimes we're speaking to undocumented students. Unfortunately, because this is a county funded program, all participants in the program do need to have right to work. As long as you have right to work in this country, that's all we care about. So DACA recipients, as long as you have an authorized work permit, you are welcome to participate in the program as well. So some things that might actually disqualify you from participating, even if you meet all of the requirements on the left hand side of this slide. You may not have a prior bachelor's degree or higher. So if you are going back to CSUN to get an additional bachelor's degree, or if you have another bachelor's or master's or PhD from another institution, that means you've graduated outside of the window and you would not be eligible. You also cannot have participated in this program previously. It is a one-time participation only. And while I know that that can be kind of discouraging, I promise it's to make this program as available to as many students as possible, because we know with our grantees that if we let them hire the same interns year after year, they would hire the same interns year after year. So you participate once in this program and then you're not able to participate again. You also, these last 2 points I just want to highlight before I explain them. One of the things I hear a lot about from students is, Martine, getting an internship in arts and culture is so difficult because there's a lot of nepotism, right? So people hiring their kids or their friends' kids or so on and so forth, right? So in recognition of that, we actually do not allow organizations to hire students where there is a personal relationship. So you cannot be a previous staff member of the organization or a relative of a staff or board member of the organization. That means that students are able to participate in internships at other organizations where they don't have that connection, but there will not be an opportunity for that organization to do that hiring internally. All right. So This notice anything down here at the bottom is really for me to highlight the fact that you might notice what is missing from this slide are things like age requirements, right? We do not require you to be of a certain age. So folks that are maybe a little bit older, that are returning to school to get that bachelor's degree, we welcome you to apply. There is no age cap. The other thing is we do not require you to major in the arts. That can be something that we know is, sometimes a little difficult for folks. Maybe parents are not necessarily excited about you majoring in the arts, but it's something that you really want to explore and see if you can make a career out of, right? We do not require that you major in the arts to participate in this program. So if you're a business major, a communications major, an education major, if you're thinking about working with students at some point, maybe those arts education positions might be really exciting for you, right? We do as much as we can to make sure that this program is accessible to as many students as possible. So you'll remember a little bit ago, I mentioned how these are arts administration positions, right? So they're not positions paying you to be a dancer or an actor or a musician. You are working within 501c3 arts nonprofits all throughout LA County. You can kind of see the buckets that they fall into here on this slide. And we require that all of the organizations be based in LA County. That means that their main programming needs to be in LA County and their office needs to be in LA County. So, I know perhaps, many of you are living near CSUN in the Northridge area. There are plenty of opportunities in the San Fernando Valley. But let's say that you are commuting from South LA all the way up to CSUN. There are internships in South LA as well. Our spread goes as far west as Santa Monica, as far east as Pomona, as far north as the Santa Clarita, Palmdale, Lancaster area, and as far south as San Pedro, Long Beach, right? So this is a long way of saying that no matter where you're located at in the county, there are internships near you. So please make sure that you're keeping that in mind. And also one final note here, we do require that all of our nonprofits have been around for at least 2 years. This just makes sure that they have a little bit of organizational stability and that we're not dropping you into a brand new organization. They do have to have a little bit of a proven track record here in Los Angeles County around their programming. I know we're gonna do questions at the end, but I'm seeing 2 hot button questions in the chat. First and foremost, if you graduate in December 2022, you are no longer eligible for the program. That is correct. As I mentioned on the previous slide, it's May through December of 2023 in order to be eligible for this program. And last but not least, are international students eligible for this program? Again, as long as you have right to work in the United States, you would be eligible to participate in this program. However, I will say that international students, you have to do the work of working closely with CSUN in this case to make sure that all of your paperwork is in order so that you can get that work authorization. It can be complex. And also if you're a freshman, maybe that is not, your school may not actually allow you to have work authorization in your freshman year. So international students, you are looking to secure a work permit or work visa here in the United States in order to participate in this program. All right, timeline. This is very, very important. So I want to make sure you all are paying close attention here. There is a reason that I am talking to you today, February 28th. That is because we are in the midst of preparing for the launch of the internship positions. The first batch will happen on April 3rd, 2023. That means that on April 3rd, 2023, you will be able to go to our website and start combing through the listing of positions that will go live on that date. We will continue to release batches of positions in May, June, and July. So you will see here that July 3rd, the final batch of positions will actually be posted on the website. So as of July 3rd, all 228 positions will be on the website. As a little treat for attending today, I'm going to give you some inside information. Here is the inside information. 148 of the 228 positions are going to go live on April 3rd. More than half, right, are going to go live on April 3rd. So you have all of March to start preparing your resumes, your cover letters, all of those kinds of things, right? There is a reason why we work so closely with Jan to make sure that we get out here in plenty of time to prepare you all for these positions to go live. So while we will have a batch of positions launch on April 3rd and then on June 1st, the earliest that, or excuse me, we will have a batch of positions that will launch on April 3rd and May 1st. But the earliest that interns can start working is June 1st of 2023. So just know that if you're submitting applications in April and May and you're doing interviews in April and May, the earliest that you're going to be able to start the internship is June 1. No internships will be starting in April or May. So keep that in mind. Finally, here on this slide, all internships must end by March 1st, 2024. So that means that all 400 hours of the internship need to be worked by that date. And we're going to break down the internship more in just a minute. So I just kind of shared this a second ago, but these are our 4 launch dates for this program cycle. So again, this means that on these dates, you can go to www.lacountyarts.org/internships and see new batches of positions being posted on all of these dates. And again, 148 positions are going to launch on April 3rd. It's our biggest batch. So you're really going to want to try to have most of your stuff ready to go so that you can start looking at those positions come April. When you go to our website and click into an individual position, you're going to see all of this information included. So first and foremost, a brief organization description. What does the organization do? Who do they serve? Where are they located, right? That will be included in the job posting. Secondly, of course, a position description. So what is it that the organization is looking for this intern to do? You will see that on the job posting. Qualifications. What is it that you're looking for? Who is it that they're looking for? What kind of skills are they hoping that you're going to have already and be bringing to the internship? You will see that in the posting. Also, you will see a tentative work period and schedule. So every position has a line that says something like, you know, this internship will be working 15 to 20 hours a week, starting in July, ending in January of 2024, right? So what is very important is that you be thinking about your schedule and apply and what the count your next, 9 months or so are going to look like, and make sure that you are applying for internships that actually match with your schedule. Okay. So if you see that a job position says that it's going to be working 40 hours a week full time during the summer from June through August, which we have a big group of internships that will do that, you had better be able to work for 40 hours during the summer, right? If you cannot commit to 40 hours a week during the summer, then you need to be looking for internship positions that are maybe working 15 to 20 hours a week. But just keep in mind that 15 to 20 hours a week most likely means that your internship will carry on until the next school year if you're not graduating. So are you going to be able to balance the internship in addition to your schoolwork, in addition to any other additional work or responsibilities that you may have outside of the workplace, right? So paying close attention to these internship postings is super critical, because you do not want to be in a position where you submit an application for an internship position that you actually cannot commit to. And last but certainly not least, the how to apply section. So every single internship and every single organization has a different set of instructions for how to apply for their internship. Our website acts as a job board for all of these internships. That's all it is. You are not applying directly to us. We are not taking your resume and handing it to the organizations and saying, hire this person. You are applying directly to the host organizations via the instructions that they have included on this webpage. So it's very critical that you take a close look at that how to apply section and are following those instructions to make sure that your application gets to where it needs to be. Okay, so now let's jump into talking about the internship itself. Show me the money, because I know that money is important. Unfortunately, while I wish it were not the case, money makes the world go round. This is a paid internship program in the arts. I'm going to say this again. This is a paid internship program in the arts. Okay, so we know that sometimes this feels like an impossible thing, but I'm here to tell you that it is not impossible. And again, we have 228 of these opportunities coming up. All interns will be paid $6,760 for their internship at a rate of $16.90 for 400 hours, okay? Unfortunately, this does not include payroll taxes and any of those deductions that may come out of your salary, but what you need to know is that the hourly rate for your internship will be $16.90 an hour. In the event that you are expected to drive as part of your job responsibilities, or if there's, a paid parking lot that is only accessible to your organization, then they will need to reimburse you additionally on top of that, right? So that might be a little bit of extra money coming your way in the event that you have to pay for parking or pay for mileage, things like that. One thing I will say is a lot of these organizations are totally fine with you not having a car. So I don't, again, really look closely through the internship position posting before you apply to try to get a sense of whether or not a car is needed. Sometimes they will say access to, private transportation or, your own method of transportation is preferred, but it should not be a requirement that you have a car. And again, as long as you can get from point A to point B via the bus or Ubers or Lyft, many times our organizations are okay with that. And that's just something that you would want to be thinking about as you're considering applying. As I mentioned before, internship duties vary based on position. Positions listed on our website will have a description and outline of duties, and be prepared to try new things and build new skills. Essentially, you will see a lot of different titles on our website that look or sound the same. So you will see a bunch of internships that are titled production intern or marketing intern or development intern. Just because two positions at two different organizations have the same title does not mean that they're doing the same work. And I can actually guarantee you that there is no two of the same internships in this entire program. Every single one of these 228 internships is unique, and every single one of the 157 organizations in our program is also unique. So do your best to kind of gauge your understanding about the internship positions when you're looking at them on our website, but just know that you're gonna have to be prepared to try new things, learn new skills, jump in and get your hands a little dirty while you're getting things, while you're learning and while you're growing your skill set. That is all part of this program, okay? So again, this is really for entry-level students who are looking to get their feet wet and get their, an opportunity in working in the arts and here in LA County. So it's better that you come in with a mindset that, you know what, this might be called a production internship, but maybe I'm doing a little bit of phone calls. Maybe I'm doing a little bit of cleanup. Maybe I'm doing a little bit of this, right? All of these internship positions have a plan. They had to submit a plan to us as part of their application. But a lot of the times, once you get in there, things might look a little different, right? So just something to keep in mind at the top. I'm going to spare you the long spiel about what the pandemic did to this program. The moral of the story is that it did a lot. We had to change a lot of things in order to keep the program moving in the era of the pandemic. And so here are some of the things that I am asking you to keep in mind now that we are living and contending with COVID in this day and age with this program. So eligibility is the same no matter where you are physically located. This is not a big deal because I'm talking to CSUN folks, but let's just say that you were technically a student at NYU, but you were home in Chatsworth, which is where you live. You would still be able to participate in this program because you live in LA County. Most of our positions will be a mix of on-site and remote work. If this is something that is of a concern to you, you need to be prepared to ask during the interview. And I just want to tell you all that myself and my colleague Sam, who's also on this call, who works very closely with me in this program, are literally a week from today going to be in what we call supervisor orientation, where we get as many of the supervisors together as we can to talk about what this upcoming program is going to look like. And we are telling them the same thing. We are telling them that when you go to interview for these positions, they need to be clear with you about how many hours are going to be on site, how many hours are going to be remote. So just know that the majority of them are going to be a mixture of in-person and remote. We do have some internships that will be fully on site with no option for remote. And we have some positions that are going to be fully remote with no options for on-site. So again, it is your responsibility. This is the new day and age that we're in right now, y'all. So if you are somebody and a student that is really, really looking for an internship that is fully remote, then you need to be prepared to ask about that. If you're looking for an internship that's fully on site, you need to be prepared to ask about it, right? We're in a new day. We're all learning. All of our organizations are learning. But what I can tell you is that it's very difficult when those conversations are not had early on, right? You don't want to be in a situation where you wait until your first day of work and then you say, hey, so how many hours a week do I get to work from home? And the organization tells you, we're actually not having you work from home at all. This is fully on site, right? So just keep in mind again that if that's of a concern for you, you need to be prepared to ask. Additionally, as I mentioned before, each of the positions on our website will detail the hours per week and the start and end dates. You also need to be prepared to discuss your school schedule and other commitments. I really want to make sure I'm making this very clear. Our organizations know that you all are students. They know that you are contending with a class schedule, maybe other jobs, maybe other family or life responsibilities that you have to keep in mind when you're signing up for these internships. But they cannot support you in a schedule that makes sense for you if they do not know what your schedule looks like. So save yourself some grief, save the organization grief. You will also be saving myself and Sam some grief by thinking about your calendar and thinking about your schedule way ahead of time, so that when you're in the interview process, you can say, hey, I just want to let you know that when August comes around or September comes around, I go back to school and I am taking 2 or 3 classes and I'm going to be in classes X number of hours a week. So what is that going to do to my schedule, right? You have to be prepared to discuss your school schedule and other commitments with this internship. And the reason that I'm taking the time to really call this out is because what we see a lot in our position is interns being afraid to be honest about this because they don't want to jeopardize their chances of getting the internship. But guess what? If you're not open and honest about it and you're not being forthright about it, you're jeopardizing your internship. Because we see it happen all the time where an intern is not making that clear. They get hired by the organization and all of a sudden the organization thinks that they have an intern for 30 to 40 hours a week and that intern is actually only able to work 15 hours a week, right? So please, 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 please be thinking a lot about what the rest of your 2023 and your early 2024 is going to look like so that you and your work site can work together to create a schedule that makes the most sense for both of you. Last but certainly not least, in addition to your internship, you will have access to what we call peer groups. These are our educational components of the program. These are 1 to 2 events per month. They will be mostly virtual, but we will have a couple of in-person events that will start in July and they will go all the way till February of 2024. These are small group events that give you as interns an opportunity to get to know other interns. Maybe you'll take a little field trip to somewhere in the county and go see a performance. Maybe you'll be able to listen to a panel of folks talk about specific topics or, talk about, for example, we've had panels in the past about how to build a career in the arts that actually lets you sustain yourself, right? To pay your bills and, have a savings and all of those things. So you might be invited to a panel where folks are talking about that, right? These are organized by our peer group leaders. There's 10 of them for next year. And they're just, again, an opportunity for you all to kind of step out of your internship, learn something else, hear from other people, get to know your fellow interns. And like I said, you'll have 1 to 2 of those to choose to attend a month starting in July all the way through February of next year. We ask that interns attend at least 1 peer group event during the course of their internship, but you will be welcome to attend as many as you would like during the course of your internship, as long as it's okay with your supervisor, and you are paid for attending these peer group events as if you were working your normal hours. So if on a Wednesday you're at a peer group event on Zoom for 2 hours, you get paid for 2 hours of work for attending the peer group event as if you were working as part of your internship. So final time, www.lacountyarts.org/internships. That is where you will be going on April 3rd and then May 1st, and then June 1st, and then July 3rd to see all of the available positions. If you go to our website right now, there's nothing there because we are preparing the website to be, there's not nothing there. You'll see information from the prior year, but the 2022 positions are not on the website. Just because we took them off in preparation for this upcoming cycle. But that is the website that you will want to go to. Screenshot this, write it down in your notebooks. That is where you're headed on April 3rd in order to get the positions on our website and be able to apply. If you have any questions, you are welcome to send an email to the internship inbox. That's internship@arts.lacounty.gov. And either myself or my wonderful colleague, Sam, will get back to you as soon as we possibly can with an answer. Always happy to kind of walk through questions about the structure of the program or questions about deadlines. Just one thing I will say is that we are not college counselors. We are not career counselors. So we are not here to look at your resumes or your cover letters. Please, please, please utilize the wonderful staff that you have on campus at CSUN to assist you in these things. I know a lot of times they're offering resume workshops or, office hours to kind of talk through your resume and cover letter. So really, really, really utilize your resources on campus at CSUN or otherwise to make sure that you're taking the entirety of March to prepare yourself and get ready for these internships. But in the meantime, if you have any questions about the structure or anything you're seeing on the website, please feel free to shoot me an email at internship@arts.lacounty.gov. And with that, to my wonderful CSUN team, I'm happy to jump in and start answering some questions.
Great. Victoria, what's our first question?
Thank you, Martin, for the presentation. First question is, if you are taking on a fully remote internship, do you still need to live in LA County?
So I'm going to reiterate this. So in order to be eligible for the program, you need to either be a resident of LA County or go to school in LA County. So if you do not live in LA County, you have to at least be going to school in LA County. If the answer is no, you do not live in LA County and no, you do not go to school in LA County, then you are not eligible to participate in the program. So it has to be one or the other. So again, I'll just say this one more time. If you do not live in LA County, you still need to be going to school in LA County. And I would just be really clear with your organizations, again, that you do not live in LA County if you're applying, because the vast majority of them are expecting folks that live here in LA County. So really want to make sure you're being careful there.
Okay, let's say, I'm just going to say, for example, to the student out there, you live in Ventura County, but you go to school at CSUN, but it's the summer and you've taken this internship and you're not attending school because it's the summer. That's okay.
You would need to provide in proof of enrollment in the fall semester for
Thank you.
The upcoming school year. Yeah, thank you, Jan. That was a great example. So
You're
again, and I'm actually going to go back a couple of slides because I think for my visual learners, myself included, eligibility, currently enrolled means currently enrolled. That does not mean I'm taking the summer off, right? It means I am currently enrolled in classes in addition to residing in or attending school in LA County. If you're taking the summer off and you're not taking classes, then you will need to show enrollment or up and coming enrollment in the fall semester. I guess that would be fall of 2023. Again, to show that you have proof of enrollment. Great question.
All right, next question. If we are looking for a remote position, is there a way to know even before the interview to know which ones to apply for?
This is a great question. So the answer is no, and I'm gonna explain why. These organizations submit these applications in the fall of last year. So this application from the organizations was due in October of 2022. A lot changes between now and the time that these positions go live. So if we were to put that the positions would be partly on site, partly remote, I guarantee you a lot of that information would not be accurate. I'm going to tell you right now that there is not a ton of fully remote positions. There is a lot of mix of positions where you have some opportunity to do remote hours, but most of our organizations are looking for people that can come in at least a little bit of the time. So again, if you're looking for something that's fully remote, you may want to reach out and ask the organization. You may want to make that clear during the course of your internship, or excuse me, during the course of your interview. But the majority of our positions are a mixture, not entirely one or the other, on-site or remote. They are a mixture.
Thank you, Martin. Next question is, what happens if during the interview we don't know our schedules for the upcoming fall semester?
Great. You need to be able to tell, you have to tell your organizations that. You tell them, I don't know what my schedule is for the fall, but I can tell you that I'm applying for this many classes, or I intend to register for this many classes. I think that they will be on these days. You got to do a little bit of work, right? So it's not okay to say, I'll be going back to school in the fall, right? You know kind of what classes you're looking at. You kind of know how many units you're going to be taking, what the commitments will look like, right? So if you don't know everything, that's fine. Come with what you know, and it should be at least a little bit.
Great. Next question is there a limit on how many internships we can apply to?
I love this question, and it comes up every single time. There is not a limit on how many internships you can apply to. Here are some cautionary tales. It is very common for an intern to get very excited and rocket off, 20 to 30 emails at different organizations to try to get an internship. And here's what has a tendency to happen. Those interns will miss that maybe in their email, they didn't change the organization name. Maybe they didn't change the position title. They didn't make it so that the organization thinks that they apply to that internship directly. It is very obvious to our work sites when an intern is just sending out as many applications to as many organizations as possible. So my recommendation is aim for 5 to 6. Okay. And why I say that is because you need to be submitting individualized applications for every single one of these positions. And sometimes they will ask for a resume and cover letter, but sometimes they will ask for a chatty email about why you want to work for the organization. Sometimes there's an online application that they need you to fill out, right? So it would be better to pick 5 or 6 internships that are really interesting to you and spend the time to make sure that your resume and your application are speaking to those positions directly. You should have multiple copies of your resume that speak to kind of different things. And again, this is my previous career counselor hat coming to the forefront here a little bit, but I know again that CSUN has amazing resources for you all to walk through resumes, to walk through cover letters, to walk through job applications. So please make sure that you're utilizing those resources. And I would say aim for 5 to 6.
Thank you, Martin. And there's a couple of questions on graduates. Are you still able to apply if you've graduated?
So again, you are eligible to participate if you graduate between May 1st and December 31st of 2023. If you've graduated outside of that window, you are not eligible for this program.
Thank you for clarifying. Next question is, how do we prove enrollment in fall of 2023? Show our expected class schedule.
Yes, that's what you would show. Your expected class schedule, unless you have your actual proof of enrollment. A lot of times, folks, we are asking you to submit screenshots of your online enrollment portal, like your CSUN portal that has your class schedule. A lot of times that's what your supervisors your work site will ask you to provide a screenshot of that to send to us for approval.
Perfect. And a clarifying question. So if we graduate and reside outside of LA County, we are still eligible?
If you graduate between May 1st of 2023 and December 31st of 2023, you are eligible as long as your school was within the boundaries of LA County. So again, it's hard for me. I'm being purposely vague here because I don't want to misspeak. It's hard to know without specifics. You must be a resident of or go to school in LA County, and you must have if you're a graduate, it has to be between May 1st and December 31st of 2023.
Perfect. Next question is, do you offer internships in literary arts? Do you have sampling of the kinds of organizations you work with?
Yes, we definitely have literary arts in the program. Just a couple off the top of my head: Red Hen Press, Beyond Baroque, Kaya Press. These are all Los Angeles Review of Books, UCLA, the writers program at UCLA Extension. These are all literary organizations that are participating in the program next year, so you will definitely see them. Again, we don't have the list of 2022 organizations on the website. On April 3rd, you will be able to go to our website and see all of the organizations that are you'll see the first batch of positions that are participating in the program on April 3rd, and there are literary organizations. There's not a lot of them, I'll be honest. They're a tiny but mighty group in the pool, but we do have literary arts in the program.
Awesome. Next question is, does this program also offer internships in museums similar to the Getty Merrill program?
What a great question. The answer is no, and that's purposeful. So the Getty, and thank you for this question. So the Getty funds museums and visual arts organizations, and we fund everybody else. And the reason that we do that is so that there's more opportunities to go around and we're not doing double duty. I will say there are a couple of museum type institutions in our program that do more than just do more than just visual programming. A lot of, maybe they do concerts or they do kind of community engagement. A couple off the top of my head are the Skirball Museum, the Social Justice Museum of Los Angeles. Those are a couple of museums that are in our program, but they're very few and far between. If you're looking for museum focused internships, the Getty program is really, really, really where you want to go. Yeah.
Perfect. Now, next question is, since all internships are 400 hours, there can be some that are 20 or 40 hours a week, correct? Also, March 1st is a deadline for the internships to end. Can the internship end prior to that date, since depending on how many hours you are working each week, it will change the length of time?
Yes. So to the first part of the question, there are some internships that are 40 hours a week and some internships that go as low as 15 hours a week. It is possible during the course of your internship to work with your organization to go from maybe working 40 hours a week during the summer, and then maybe when school starts, you have to drop that down to 15 or 20 hours a week because of school, right? Again, critical that you be clear and open and honest about that during the interview process if that's something that you can see yourself needing. To the second part of the question, you are absolutely correct. There are many internships that will end way before March 1st. The internships that start in June that are working 40 hours a week full time, they will end in August. We will have some other interns that won't even start their internship until October or November that will work all the way through February. So it's a rolling basis. So yes, again, you want to look at the website and look for that sentence that says, this position will work approximately this many hours to this many hours, starting in this month, ending in this month, if that's something that's of a concern to you.
Okay, we have a couple of questions regarding the type of internships available. There's one asking if there is film internships, and another question asking if the program offers library, archiving, or special collections internships.
Film internships, absolutely. Couple organizations you might know: Film Independent, New Filmmakers Los Angeles, the Academy Foundation. There's also the Television Academy is participating for the first time this year, which we're very excited about. So lots in the TV and film realm. Library, archiving, or special collections. I'm going to break that down individually. Do we offer library positions? No, we do not. Do we offer archiving positions? Yes, we do. However, the archiving positions are not museum archival positions. A lot of times you're working through a backlog of maybe concert recordings or dance performances or things like that, and working with the organization to digitize those files. Those are the types of archival positions that we have, and not really special collections internships. So again, just the structure of this question makes me think that, you know, maybe this is asking more about museum-based internships. Again, really want to direct you to the Getty Merrill Multicultural Undergraduate Internship Program for museum-based stuff. We do have some archival positions, but again, working more through digital media, concert performances, audio tracks, things like that.
Thank you, Martin. And a general question here, is it possible to work multiple internships, not within LA County's program, but say we apply to other internships and get them as long as we talk to the host organization about our schedule, or this not advised?
You know, it's whether or not I can advise on it is totally up to the individual intern. I have come across interns that are really able to successfully balance this internship, another internship, and school, and all of their home responsibilities. You know, I tip my hat off to them because I think it's truly amazing. What I will say is what is more common, what we see a lot at our level, is there is always a big batch of interns that start this internship program and then end early because they realize that they cannot handle doing an internship in addition to all of the other responsibilities that they have in their life. And when that happens, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. You're putting the organization at a disadvantage because they have spent all this time and effort getting you on board and getting you brought onto the program. And then you have to leave early because you're concerned about your responsibilities. So I cannot answer that question for you. I would say take a real deep, hard look at how many hours you have to spend in all of these kinds of things. And if you think you can handle it, most of the time our organizations will at least give you the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, we're willing to work with you to try to be flexible. But it is very common for me to get an email from an intern saying or from a supervisor that says, Martin, this person just quit because they can't handle both. And that really breaks my heart because, again, I think you just have to do the work of thinking out ahead of time really what you can handle. And that's what I would suggest.
Thank you, Martin. We don't have any questions, but if anything comes up, please put them in the chat box.
So as just a closeout, I'll go back to this slide just while we wait for the final questions. But again, April 3rd, 2023, that is the first batch of 148 positions that will be going live. So please utilize what is left of March, the entirety of March, to get yourself ready and prepared. Please tap into the amazing folks at CSUN that are, really excited and ready to have you, come in and work on your resume, work on your cover letter, work on your application. We want you all to feel prepared. That's why we do this work. And we really hope that we get to see you in the internship program very, very soon.
So we're running our post here, our post survey, and let's see what people have learned. Significant. It's significant. Please continue to fill out the survey. These are good numbers.
I'm having college flashbacks when we would all, see all of the results up on the screen.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Martin, thank you so much. You can see how much they've learned from you today. You're a gift to us. We're always happy when you come to see CSUN students. And thank you for always supporting the Career Center. I will tell you that students, you can come to our drop-ins. You can go to our web page, which is csun.edu/career. Go to our web page. You can see when our drop-in hours are. We do them both virtually and in person. And then, and in addition to that, Thursday, we have Resume Makeover. So Resume Makeover is a big day where we invite employers in to critique your resumes as well as Career Center professionals. And you can sign up through Handshake, and that's on Thursday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then also we have another session tonight at 4 p.m. and that's with Bluebeam. Bluebeam is a software company, but they have internships, everything from marketing to software engineering. So there's a wide variety of internships available. So please, if you're interested, sign up for that and join us at 4 p.m. And then tomorrow we have 3 additional sessions. And so I hope that you just check out Handshake and see what we have to offer. But We always love to support this program, the LA Arts and Culture Program, because it's an amazing opportunity for you to connect and to serve inside some nonprofit organization where you can really learn about the arts. These opportunities are rare, and the fact that there are, how many did you say?
228.
228 available. Please think about applying for these positions and take heed to the fact that you don't want to apply for all 228 of them. Managing that would be an absolute crazy nightmare. So I think, that was a good ballpark figure, 5 to 6. You can kind of manage what you want to do and apply, if this is what you want to do, apply and get some experience. So once again, thanks, Martin. Know that his session is on our CSUN Career Center YouTube channel. We live streamed today. So Martin, you can watch it yourself.
Thank you, Jan. And thank you again so much to your team, and wishing you all a super successful internship week. Thank you again so much for having us.